Hey, beautiful. Good to see you again. This is session number 3, live session number 3 of day 4 of the Command Center Challenge. So far in the Command Center Challenge, we are putting together a launch pad for all of our daily stuff. So that could be your menu plan, your grocery list, your purse, your keys, your sunglasses, your devices, your chargers for your devices, your planner, just absolutely anything and everything that you use on a daily basis. We're creating that launch pad. Usually it goes near a door, an entry and exit door or something like that. But we want this one-stop area where all of the essentials can easily be found. Hey, Janelle, welcome. As you hop on, please let me know that you're here. Say hi, tell me where you're from. And if you want to, also tell me how your command center is going. Have you gathered your supplies or decided what you're putting in it? But so far, this challenge has been super fun. I've loved seeing what you're all doing with your command centers and hearing about all the various things that you're putting in it. Now, today, we're talking about putting it all together. So we've already decided what types of things we wanted in our command center, and we've kind of done a rough layout of how we want to do it and how we want to put it all together. We've bought our supplies and we've got those ready. So now comes putting it together. And today I'm going to share some of my tips for how to put it all together, and I'll show you how my command center is all put together because I have very little space. So I kind of had to split mine up in various areas of my kitchen. So I've got some photos of my command center to show you too. Hey, Mary, I see that people are hopping on. We've got Mary, a couple people, someone from Massachusetts says all supplies are at hand. And Marie is here from Wisconsin. Welcome, welcome. Sometimes if you are showing up just as Facebook user, that's because you have to actually grant permission to show your name if you're in the Facebook group, but that's absolutely okay. So feel free to just type your name, or in the description of this video, there is a link that shows how you can grant access, but that is completely up to you. Good morning from Texas, and Lee, welcome, welcome. All right, well, let's dive in. So far we have, let me do this. So far, we've talked about our command centers. Now, this is just one example of a command center that I set up for a client a while ago when I was working with people one-on-one in their homes. Yours can look completely different. They're all very different depending on what you need in your areas. So this is one example, and you can see this is actually on the side of a cabinet, a kitchen cabinet, and it's kind of in the entryway. So it has all the bins for the action file folders and a calendar and a note board and a notepad for the grocery lists and pens and pencils and a mirror and key hooks and a trash can. It's got it all right there because communication hub was kind of what was most needed in this home. So as we're laying out our command centers, a lot of times, I mentioned this yesterday, I like to use painter's tape to outline the exact size of all the various supplies that I plan to install. Because especially if you're doing holes in the wall, then you want to make sure that it's going to be in the right spot before you actually lay it out. Hey, from Ohio. So I usually do painter's tape. And as you can see with the painter's tape, this was the first layout that I did. And I thought that this was going to work out really well because on paper it looked great. And it looked like it would work perfectly. I even taped to the wall. I taped where the purse hooks would go. But then you can see the final product ended up a bit different because when we taped it all out, that's when we started to realize that, well, the paper ones were a little too close together and the purse hooks made it, that was really close to where the paper holders were. So the straps for the purses would probably run into the paper holders and cause problems. So we actually moved the purse hooks across to the other wall across from it that I'm not showing here. We had purse hooks and dog leashes. But laying it out with painter's tape is great because it does not leave a mark on the walls. It's easy to add and remove things until you find out exactly how you want it. And then one of the things with all organizing, I always say we go for perfectly imperfect. We're not trying to make everything perfection because it never will be. Life will change. And whenever life changes, you need to be able to adapt your systems with the new life. And if you've gone through making every label perfect and trying to keep it all exact in a magazine style look, then you're going to have a really hard time adapting when life changes. So one of the things that I like to do is, especially when I first install a command center, instead of using hooks and nails, I use command hooks. So you can peel them off the wall if you need to adjust things. And quite frankly, you could probably just leave the command hooks on and never necessarily put holes in your wall, because most things in your command center are not going to be that heavy. I think my heaviest thing in mine is my purse, and those heavy duty command hooks work absolutely well for my purse. And I'll show you that in a little bit. But this command center was actually done entirely with command hooks. Let's see if I can move. There you go. Command strips. So I have all sorts of command strips on the wall, little tiny command hooks that held the paper bins. This little pencil cup is one of the command pencil cups. So everything was temporary. So that way, if we found that something didn't work, we didn't have holes in the side of that nice cabinet. We could move things around as needed. So feel free, use command strips. Now, the trick with command strips, though, that a lot of people forget is when you do anything with a command strip, you want to make sure that it has time to seal against the wall before you hang anything heavy from it. So for example, when I put up these little tiny hooks that were going to hold the paper holders, I did not then immediately put those paper holders over those hooks. I waited at least 24 hours before I put anything heavy on, or anything at all, on those command hooks. So if you wait the 24 hours, 48 is even better, but at least 24, then those command hooks are going to hold even better. And when you put them on, kind of hold them for a minute. Push them into the wall for a minute before you let it go. I see we've got several people. We've got, hey, Linda, and Lady is here. Welcome, welcome. Good to see your face again. And someone says, I have deep red walls. Will command hooks take off dark paint? I have not seen them take off paint usually. If you are in maybe an older home where the paint kind of peels up really easily because there's multiple layers on plaster, then you might have some problems. Basically, if your paint's already prone to peeling, then you might have some problems. But in general, I have found that I've not had problems with it, but you might want to go ahead and test it in an inconspicuous place. Maybe, if you have a chair or a bookshelf or something, put one behind the bookshelf, leave it for a little bit, and then pull it off the normal way and just make sure that it's not going to peel anything off. But it shouldn't, that they're not supposed to. I've not seen it pull off paint unless you are in an older home. Like I've had it peel off paint in my home because we've got this mid-century modern home with all the original paint has been painted over about 50 times. So there are some parts of the house that we actually have paint peeling up a little bit that we're going to have to, well, we rent this one, but if we owned it, then we would probably have to peel off all the paint and restart. So that's probably the only time. And welcome, welcome. Good morning. Hi, Maria. Nice to see you. Florida in the house with me. Yeah, she says, I've never waited that long before. Maybe that's why it took off the paint. Yeah, if you don't wait long enough, then they will fall off the wall with a little bit of weight. And also when you're peeling them off, I don't have one here, but let me just use this as an example. So when you're peeling them off, you've got your hook against the wall, you're going to pull the strip straight down. And sometimes it helps to hold the hook against the wall while you peel it down, because otherwise that hook can come flying and hit you in the thumb and it kind of hurts. But you pull that strip that's hanging out straight down, and that's the best way to get a command hook off. You don't want to pull it out in any way or even angled, because that's when it's starting to pull at the paint and it's not going to get that clean pull. But if you're pulling it straight down, then usually it's good to go. Good morning, sunshine. Good morning to you too, beautiful. Good to see you. Awesome. So that is my trick. Use the command hooks because life changes all the time. And then once you like the placement of everything, you can go ahead if you want to and install it with nails and screws and things like that. But you don't necessarily have to. If the command hooks are working, then you could just leave them like that if you'd like to. Good morning, Beverly. Good to see ya. All right. So once you've got all of your hooks installed and everything like that, then you are good to go. Now this is my command center. So my command center, I have a small kitchen with no pantry, and it has very few spaces of wall. So adding a command center in my kitchen is not actually something that works. Hey, Beverly. So I had to split up my command center into various parts of my kitchen just so that I could have everything that I need nearby, but still work with the space that I have. So you can see in this picture, this is actually our dog food and, dog food blender and ninja area. But on the inside of the cabinet doors, that's where I have kind of my go-to stuff. So on the right-hand side, because we've got an 11-year-old, I have all of the emergency information and local information for her. So if we do run out to the store, because we're getting her used to being able to be on her own for a couple minutes at a time, 30 minutes at a time. So we have, the neighbors' phone numbers. We have all of the emergency information, all of the information that she needs to know, and also all the information for if we have a dog sitter. And then on the left-hand side, we have the dog's information. And because this is right near where I cook in the sous vide and the Ninja, we also have the common cooking times for all of the stuff that we normally use. I also have a recipe for this pesto that I made up. We've got our dog toxin information. This is for all the sous vide times and the Ninja times for the stuff that we make the most. This is where we track our dog's flea medication stuff. So that's inside of our cabinets. Now that full area looks, oops, that's not the full area. I'll show you that in a second. This is more like what the full area looks like. So you see I've got my purse hook at the bottom, and next to it we have another hook that during school time holds her backpack. But right now during COVID, it holds our face masks and my headphones, my wireless headphones. You'll see I've got a spot for my keys. That's my little key cloud that I showed you. This is in the store if you wanted to find that, but it's that magnetic key cloud that makes it super easy to just stick your keys to. And I actually use that little ledge, or on my purse is where I put anything that just needs to go out with me to the car, or that it has to go to the laundry room, which is outside as well. So that's kind of our launch pad area for all of the in and out and for the cooking and emergency stuff. Then I have on a separate area of the kitchen, actually, let me see if I can pull up. Do I have the full... There we go. So this is the full area that has like the menu and everything. So with an active family, of course, I'm always trying to plan out our menu. So I have a menu board. I have our little, like our books for a special diet that my husband has to stick to a little bit for his stomach. I have our action file is on the counter at the bottom. So all of the incoming papers go into the action file. I have a pen cup. I have a notepad, and then underneath the menu board, I have a dry erase marker that is dedicated to that area. So that's how we plan out our menus for the most part. We used to do it on the side of the fridge, and I'll show you that too, because the side of the fridge is also a great place for a command center. But this, like I told you before yesterday about the photo frames, and I just put pretty paper in the background, and I wrote the days of the week on it, and I use a dry erase marker on the glass so I can use it as a dry erase board. And then on the bottom right, you'll see it says notes. That's actually our grocery list that goes there. And then underneath we have, right now it's just a command clip because I'm out of the command pen clips. I have to order more and they're coming in Saturday. So they're not here yet, but normally I have one that you push into, but the little, they're kind of like the clothespin clips. Those work well too. So the other thing that I have in that area, like I mentioned, is my action file. So I have all of my action file folders are there. I also have any recipes that go along with the menu that's listed above. I have one folder called Try Now for those recipes that we're doing that week. So that's in that area. And then I used to have this cute little dry erase magnet on the side of the fridge that I just got at like the dollar store. So that's another option. If you want to do something on the side of your fridge as well, you can absolutely do that instead. And like I mentioned, on the website, SuzannaKaye.com, in the store section, you click on store and then scroll down, and there's organizing supplies. And right there, if you click on that, then you can see all the various supplies that I've talked about and shared. So that's my command center. And that's what I love having all of it easy to reach, and it's right near where we come in and out. So that action file, when people come in, Kayla knows that she can drop stuff in the action file that needs my review if it's from school. And Jeff knows that when he brings in the mail, if it's, he can sort it into the action file and it can get taken care of. So it makes it super, super easy. Hey, Carla. So if you guys have any questions, please let me know. I mentioned the Command Center Challenge. We do have a schedule page. So if you wanted to be able to see the past live sessions or the upcoming ones and everything that went on with the challenge, then you can go to the schedule page, but also in the Facebook group in the guides section. The guides section will have all the videos and the tasks, and everything should be up through next weekend at least. Possibly longer, but I'm only guaranteeing through next weekend. So that way you know. So if you have any questions, now is absolutely your chance. Brenda says, hi to Carla. Hey, Susan. Susan says, I prefer to use a paper or written daily calendar as part of my command center. Does anyone have one you like? For me, if you're just doing the basic calendar, then you could use one like, let me pull that back up. Like in this one, you could just grab whatever type you think is pretty and hang it. I just hung it from this one I put a command hook, and she had this cute little spoon hook, but she did not want to hang the decorative spoon. So we actually used that spoon hook to hold the calendar just because it was super cute. But if you're just looking for a basic calendar, then you can find any one that you just think is pretty. But I do like the ones that have an easy hook, so you can hook it onto your command center well. Now, if you're using something like a planner, then you might even want one of those hanging bins where you can put your planner, just pop it right into the bin and it can have a spot. And for planners, my favorite planner that's a full planner, like a plan your whole life and has the calendar pages and the daily pages, my favorite is the Freedom Mastery. And this is my Freedom Mastery planner, and it has everything. It comes in different sizes. I use this for more of my to-dos and planning out my year, goal setting. It has all sorts of mental stuff in the front to help walk you through your goals and your priorities and your mission and vision statements, all sorts of stuff. So the Freedom Mastery is the one that I really like. And right now, I believe somebody shared yesterday, and I can't remember who, I'm so sorry. Somebody shared that there's a coupon code. So if you look at yesterday's video comments, there's a coupon code for 20% off of the Freedom Mastery planners right now. I believe I also have a link to them in the Favorite Things store. So if you need that. So she was thinking of one that shows hourly appointments. So the Freedom Mastery is a really good one for that. If you wanted something reusable, then the other thing that I have in my Favorite Things store is the Panda Planner by Rocketbook. And it comes in different sizes as well. But this is the erasable one, and you can scan it also. I never really use the scan function, but it has, and some of these I actually just cut the pages out and I use the pages separately too. But these are erasable. And so it has your schedule and your priorities, and it has some things like what you're grateful for, motivational stuff, all of that type of stuff. So check it out in my Favorite Things store through the website. You can click on the website and go to store, or you can just go to the Favorite Things link, whichever you prefer. So yeah, hopefully that helps answer your question. Absolutely. And like I mentioned, the website's at SuzannaKaye.com. If you did just want to go directly to the Favorite Things link, there it is on the screen. You might need to pause this, watch this again and pause it really quick. But the other thing that I wanted to make sure that you all know about is this weekend on Sunday, and there will be a replay, but we have a free virtual organizing session that you're invited to. So this is where you can bring any project that you want to work on. You can finish your command center. You can bring papers to sort, whatever you want. But this Sunday, July 11th, 2021, if you're watching this later, at 11 a.m. Eastern time, we're going to do 2 hours. We're going to hop on Zoom, work side by side together. I'll throw on some music and we'll do little work sprints of 20 minutes. And then I'll take 10 minutes to answer questions, share tips. You can keep working through the breaks or you can take breaks with me. But it's a fun way to make sure to actually get a chance to work on some of your projects and not feel alone because you're right next to a whole bunch of other people working too virtually, which is really fun. So if you go to the website, you can click on the event calendar. So up at the top of the website where it says event calendar, that's where you can click and you can see the free virtual organizing session, or you could just type in the link that's on your screen right now. So I hope you can join me for that. I see. Oh, you're so welcome, Susan. Absolutely. So check out both of those planners. I do absolutely love them. I use my Rocketbook the most, but I use Freedom Mastery to kind of plan my life. So that is perfect. Sorry, the Bugman decided to come. So he's going to come right by my window in a minute. Great idea on Sunday's section. It will make me work. Absolutely. And that's one of those things that's great. If you have it on the calendar, then you get so much more done, especially if there are people right next to you. It's super helpful. And there will be a replay. So the replay will be available for a limited time afterwards. This is what we do in the paper path. So later on this week, I believe on Saturday, the paper path enrollment is opening up again. And twice a month, we have live work sessions like you'll be invited to on Sunday. So we'll have live work sessions called group hikes where we do this focus time. So you can put it on your calendar. You're so welcome, Janelle. We also have question and answer sessions and topic webinars once a month and games and challenges to organize your papers. So if you're having trouble with papers and you want to get your papers together, then the paper path, when that opens on Saturday for enrollment, it only opens twice a year for enrollment. So if you hop in on Saturday and join the paper path, then it leads you one step at a time through every single paper in your home, from the very basic incoming papers and mail all the way through to your most important papers, your entire filing cabinet, how to sort your papers, all that great stuff. But check out the virtual session that will have the replay for a limited time, and that's going to be similar to what we do in the paper path as just one of the things in the membership. She says, I've gotten more accomplished than ever using a paper pads planner. Oh, cool. That's awesome. And then Lady says, I'll watch the replay. It will be like sitting in the Zoom session. How encouraging. Absolutely. I'm so glad that you'll be able to join me for the replay. And it does feel like you're live. So that's the nice thing during the replay. It's very much like being live. So they're super useful. I've actually watched our replays of the group hike in the paper path on my own several times just to be able to get more done and feel like there's a whole team here with me. So perfect. You are doing absolutely amazing with this challenge so far. In the Facebook group, please post some pictures of what you have so far. If it's a pile of supplies that you're ready to install, or if you've drawn out a design, or if you started to actually install things, share your photos, because over in the Facebook group, it is so much fun to see what everybody is doing and to be able to encourage each other and get ideas from each other. So make sure to hop over there. And let me share the Facebook group. There's the Facebook group link. So I hope that you're enjoying the challenge. Let me know if you are enjoying the challenge, enjoying these lives. I'm going to be doing lives more often. So when we're not doing challenges, I'll do lives on some concepts, some of the mental stuff more often as well. So give me a like or a heart on this video if you're enjoying these live sessions and the challenges, because I hope to do more of those with you. Let's see. Somebody says, I can't get the live. I poked the arrow, but the screen is black and no voice. Oh, I don't know. I don't know why you can't get it. The comment came through. I'm not sure. Maybe you need to just refresh your browser or something. Hopefully that helps you. So sorry. To see a bunch of people giving me some love for the lives. That's wonderful. So keep on going. Just remember, just like the challenges, just like the paper path, breaking things down into small steps is so helpful. I'm going to do this just so that way it streams better for people. But if you break things down into little tiny steps, and tiny steps can mean either doing a tiny bit of the project or a tiny piece of time, maybe 5 minutes or 15 minutes, it makes it so much easier to get through a project. So something like a command center could seem intimidating if you decided on a Saturday morning that you wanted to build a command center and you wanted to finish it all in one day. But breaking it down into day 1, just deciding what types of things you need. Day 2, deciding what supplies will support that. Day 3, getting your supplies and designing it, that type of thing. Then it makes it a lot easier. And we have a checklist actually. And if you don't already have our challenge checklist for this challenge, go ahead and download that for free because that walks you through the steps. But the reason I break things down into these little bitty steps, like in the paper path, is because not only does it make it more doable, because we think, okay, for example, with the papers, if you have boxes and boxes of papers to sort through, or a filing cabinet that's absolutely overstuffed, full of old papers, and it's overwhelming and stressful, then if you think about that whole project, that's really intimidating. So your brain's going to put it off and say, oh, I'll do that later because I don't know how long it's going to take. And I don't even know what the right answers are. But if you break it down into tiny steps, such as I'm going to grab one handful of papers and just sort those handful of papers, then that's much more doable. Or if you're sorting and you do broader categories and make those steps super simple, like we talk about in the paper path, we talk about the onion method for sorting your papers. Because when you're trying to go through and sort papers, there's too many categories to try to figure out, A, if you need to keep it, and then B, where you need to keep it all at once. That will overwhelm your brain. But if you break it down to simple categories, such as the first time you sort them, just decide, is it keep or go? And make that your only categories. That makes it so much easier, and it's a much smaller step that you can get through. So it's not as intimidating. And not only does it help you through that project and help you get started. Once you get started, you tend to go more than those 5 minutes. But even if you don't, the whole thing that it does that's much more important is it changes your mind. So by doing these little steps consistently on a regular basis, by getting yourself to think about these organizing concepts or organizing questions or doing a small organizing task every day, that changes the way that your mind works. So it changes the way that you think. If you're making these small decisions every day for your action file, for your incoming papers that we talk about in the paper path, and you're putting them into the action file, well, that 1 minute a day, really quickly, your brain starts to do it automatically because it starts to get used to the questions that you ask yourself to make those decisions, and those decisions become automatic, which is really nice. And the same with sorting your papers. If you're sorting them frequently and deciding keep or go, well, if you're doing that a little bit each day, then all of a sudden those keep or go questions that were really hard at the beginning to figure out, a week in, 2 weeks in, you don't even have to stop and think. You just automatically know whether you want to keep it or let it go, because you've retrained your brain and it just becomes automatic. Not only that, but you set yourself up with like just this, I want to call it a habit. It's not a habit, but just a belief of confidence, because you've given yourself this recurring win. So if you're giving yourself a small win every single day when it comes to something like paper organizing, which a lot of us have a problem with, then those small wins each day are going to tell your brain that you can do this. And they're going to tell your brain that you know the answers and that you're good at this. And after a while, instead of saying, I'm terrible with papers and I can't get organized, you're going to start telling yourself, you know what? Every day I'm doing something, I'm succeeding at this little thing, so I must be good at organizing and I must be good with papers. And when those decisions become easier and easier, then you think that you're amazing with papers, because you know what? You are. It's just you had to retrain your brain. So breaking it all down into really tiny steps like we do in the paper path and in the challenges, that is essential for making those mental changes that are going to carry you forward much longer than what one challenge would be, or if you did it all in one day in just one project, then you're going to miss out on that great mental food. So Lady says, as a perfectionist / procrastinator, the small bites are helping me. Oh, that's awesome. I hear so many people, especially my perfectionists. I hear so many people who have been blocked and stuck, especially with papers, and overwhelmed, and they don't even know where to start. And those small steps are the only thing that has gotten them moving forward. So somebody says, one of the best things I've learned since first starting with you a couple years ago was to give myself some grace when I don't finish everything I intended to complete, and give myself kudos for what I did accomplish. Now I'm so much better at having mini bursts of activity to get stuff done. Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, I wish that showed me your name. That's wonderful. But it's so true. We need to forgive ourselves on the days that it's just not working out. We need to know that just because on this one day you had a tough time, or on this one project it was a little harder, it is absolutely okay, because next time you're going to do great. The puppy wants to say hi, but we go through various hormonal levels that put us in different frames of mind, and we go through different stressors in life that make things hard sometimes. And if we can just give ourselves a little grace, then we can absolutely do it. Wait, let me just get her. She's gonna get lippy. So giving yourself some grace is huge. I absolutely love that. Thank you for sharing. Well, wonderful, wonderful. I am so glad that you were all here today. You get to see the puppy me too again, as usual. But thank you so much. Keep sharing things in the Facebook group, and let me know if you have any questions. Please ask them in the videos. I'll watch the comments of the videos. Are you tired? I'll watch the comments in the videos. I'll answer questions there. I'll answer them in the next videos as well. But keep moving forward. One small step at a time, and you will absolutely get whatever you want to do. You will get it done, and we're all here for you. I don't see any spoiled puppies here. So cute. Absolutely not spoiled at all. But thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you so much. Keep it up, keep sharing, and I will see you very soon. I believe Saturday we have another live session, and then don't forget Sunday, join me for that virtual organizing session, because whether you can join me live or you just catch the replay, that's going to be such a great productivity booster. So now, does anyone else keep a space on your calendar for a done list at the end of the day? You know, I do that sometimes when I'm having a rough mental time and feeling like I'm not getting much done. I will create a done list sometimes, and I love doing that. So great, great suggestion, because we do so many little things that we forget that we actually got a lot more done than we thought. Aw, Carla, thank you. Hugs to you too. I love you so much. Karen, yes, nice idea. Absolutely. I love you all so much. Keep sharing, keep being amazing, and I will see you all very soon. Bye.